Hey, how's it going, guys? Domino21 here, and back again to bring you guys another deck profile for you all. So I'm here just chilling at my locals, Comics and Gaming in Fairfax, Virginia. Just got done with the tournament, and finally I was able to find a local player with a completed duo deck, as you see here. See here, I got some Hatsune Miku in the background here because it's a celebration. And it's awesome. Plus the artwork is inspired by Hatsune Miku, if you guys didn't know. So yes, like I said, I found a local player here who actually is a dedicated Bermuda player since day one. And I never actually seen duos before, so I was really impressed with the skills that they had. And the guy I'm about to introduce to you right now, I say arguably he's like the best Bermuda player in our area. So definitely he is the guy to explain all there is to this deck. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself real quick for everyone.
Alright, so I'm Ramon and I'm from TeamSoul. We are also sort of friends with the old organization Mars Group. I don't know if they're still around. And I just topped with my duo deck. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Awesome, man.
So we'll start with the grade 3s, of course, and we'll start with
Bye, Miku.
Our main grade 3. So Duo Temptation Reit, she's the standing Vanguard of the clan. And the way she stands back up is after she attacks, you gotta counterblast 2 and discard 2 with the same name, and they have to be duos, and that's key, but there's a really easy way to get copies in your hand with support that I'll show you later. So that's her, she's the standing Vanguard, and her second effect is at the beginning, when she starts to attack, you Soul Blast 1 and return a card to your hand, and that helps for a lot of stuff, and you can like almost, I would call it cheating is how awesome it is. So, alright, so definitely. That's the grade 3. 4 Duo Temptation Reits, grade 3. Alright. Next.
Now, just to ask a quick question now, sorry guys, I actually never even researched any single card in duos, I have no idea, but just to clarify for any viewers out there looking at this deck for the first time, I noticed of course they have different art styles. I'm familiar that they have black and white styles. Does it matter, in terms of discarding 2 cards with the same name, does it matter if one's black and one's white?
No, it just goes by the name, so it doesn't really matter what art it is. So I just kind of put it in flashy with 2 different arts.
Okay, just kind of want to get that out of the way in case someone wants to ask that.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, man.
Alright, so the next grade 3, I'll run 3 of the Break Ride, True Sister Mir. Nice. And I believe she's kind of like the best Break Ride, maybe in the game, but definitely in the clan, especially with this deck. So her skill is of course, when you ride your grade 3 on top of her and you have 4 damage at Limit Break, that gets plus the general plus 10, and it gets an additional effect. And that effect is, at the beginning, when it attacks, you can counterblast 1 to return all of your field back to your hand, and call 2 from your hand.
Nice.
So that works real good with Temptation Reit because it stands back up, so you can like use it twice. You'll counterblast 2 at the turn to do the skill.
Extra attacks OP.
Yeah, and it's 3, so I'm only running 7 grade 3s. That's only because until recently, like today, I just got the last one. I have 1 more black one now, so I have completed it now, 8 instead of 7 grade 3s.
But it seemed to function for you anyway. So.
Yeah, 7 grade 3s is still consistent because you just need enough to like ride. I don't really use them to call very much.
Yeah, I agree.
So next we'll go to the grade 2s, and to start I have the 12k beaters for duos in the Vanguard name. Everyone knows why you want to run 12k beaters, of course, they hit pretty hard. And I had all the arts, but I personally like to mix it up with black and white just to like, as Gabe experienced today when I fought him, confusion between, are they different cards?
I wasn't too familiar with the black and white because like I said, I don't really pay attention to Bermuda, so I was like confused. I thought he was like running like 4 of each. I thought he was cheating for a second, but
yeah.
He explained.
Alright, so next grade 2 we have Duo Mini Heart Roan. So what she does, she's kind of the target to ride as grade 2 because she has an amazing, she can do the effect on rearguard 2, and her effect is when she hits the Vanguard, you counterblast 1 and return a card to your hand, and after that you search for a copy from your deck. So that's one of the ways that you can get a copy from your deck to do the standing back up with Reit.
Good setup, good setup.
Yeah, really amazing. Alright, and then next grade 2, I'm running
Ice Climbers.
4 Ice Climbers. Duo White Crystal Rika. So she's sort of essential in the deck because so far you see a lot of the cost is counterblast, and it's really counterblast heavy. Like if you want to pull off the whole Vanguard combo with standing up and using the Break Red, it takes up 4 counterblast. So this works a lot with that because what it does is when it comes back to your hand, you Soul Charge 1 and unflip a card from the damage zone. So it's essentially giving you more fuel for your effects.
Okay. Now, in terms of the soul charging, is that really significant for this deck?
So soul charging, usually if you don't soul charge, you'll get maybe 3-4 cards in the soul. And as I'll read from here, from Reit's skill is, her second skill is Soul Blast 1 to return a card to your hand. And if you're in like a really desperate situation where you need cards in your hand or you need something back from your hand to the field, from the field to your hand, you can Soul Blast. But sometimes you've done it so much or the game's gone on for so long that you're out of soul. So this can help with that.
Yep. So it's a good luxury, but not essential necessarily.
Yeah, not exactly. I mean, it's pretty luxurious for a late game.
Yeah, but you want it for the unflip because I think that's really heavily needed for this deck.
Right. So that's the grade 2s. That's all my grade 2s.
Yep.
And then we'll go to the grade 1s, and we'll start with continuing support for unflipping. So this is the 5K grade 1 duo clear Kura. Their names are all crazy. So her skill is when she's called to the field, you Soul Blast 2 and Unflip 2.
Nice.
So the thing about it is you don't need too much soul. Usually you use the soul either to return a card to your hand or in this case to Unflip Counterblast because the deck is really Counterblast heavy. Especially if you don't get certain conditions off, it's really Counterblast heavy.
Yeah, that's like a whole restand right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that 2 damage you get yourself. So you can essentially restand 3 or 4 times, I guess.
Exactly. Maybe 4 times if you do it really hard.
Well, if you do that, you probably lost the deck out. But
exactly. So I only run 2 of her because you don't need too much. Maybe just 1 per game to be able to unflip 2. Maybe do 1 more stand.
I think 2 is the perfect number. I agree.
Really good number.
This is probably my favorite card in the deck.
So next, I have 4 Duo Beast Ear Lulu.
Is this because they're bunnies? That's all.
So. She's called Beast Ear because she has bunny ears, and in the black one she has cat ears. But so she's real essential to maybe the power. So I have hand advantage later. I'll show you in the grade 1s how I get hand, and this is how I get power for the columns because my grade 2s you saw they were like 8Ks and 9Ks and 4 12K beaters. And the grade 1s you're going to see are pretty weak. These are the only 7Ks in the deck. And her skill is actually really amazing. What she does is when you're called her to the field, you choose up to 4 of her with her name on the field, and they get +2.
And that includes herself.
It includes herself. So when you call her, she gets +2, and then you call another, and she gets +2, and so does the other one. So that's a net 4 and 2.
So at worst, it's a 9K.
At worst, it's a 9K.
I mean, that sounds
for a turn.
Yeah.
At best, it's like
amazing.
Really amazing. All right. So that's the grade 1 Lulu Beast Ear.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's definitely a lot of combo cards here, but after we get through the deck for you guys, we'll definitely demonstrate some combos for you guys.
All right. So we're almost done. So we have, I also run 4 Duo Petite Elliot Peace. So, whoops.
Hello.
Her name. So she's my draw engine almost for the deck. She synergizes well with the starter, which I'll show you at the end. So what she does is, she's a 6K, pretty weak, but she's got an amazing effect. So what happens is, when she comes back to your hand, you Counterblast 1 to draw a card. That's the simple part, but to continue the effect, once you return to your hand, you can reveal 3 to your opponent and unflip that damage. So I'll show you a combo with this that I've done in the game and before that's really crazy.
I've seen it myself, and I thought he was cheating. I had to like read the cards twice to make sure he wasn't cheating. Because like I said, I have no idea what these cards did.
Yeah, I would call it cheating because that's how crazy it is.
It's cheating.
All right.
It's legal cheating, if that makes sense.
Legal cheating.
Yep. Cheating.
So 4 of her, and finally we have our Sentinels. So I run 3 Perfect Guards and 1 Quintet Wall. Okay. So Prism Duo Aria and Duo Promise Day Kalima. So I'm running 3 Perfect Guards because, or let's say 1 Quintet Wall and 3 Perfect Guards because Quintet Wall, it does require a Counterblast, and as I said again, this is a really Counterblast heavy deck. I mean, this can save your life if you have low hand, but usually you want to discard a card instead because a lot of your deck is very Counterblast heavy.
Okay. Does that kind of annoy you that you don't have like the second one, where you can't do that 2/2 thing?
So that was kind of annoying until today, where I got another copy of her white one, so I'm a lot happier now. But I think I'll still run 1 Quintet Wall. I mean, my OCD is kind of satisfied a bit because it's white, 2 whites and 2 blacks.
That's true. I mean, I think quintets are still good. I mean, even running 1 is really good just to be able to 1-card block when normally can be, you know, a 2-card block, like a 15K, what normally is a 15K block. So I think quintet walls are still very viable to play.
Yeah, I think they're really good, especially in like a really tough situation.
I like them.
All right. So that's all the grade 1s, and now we'll get to my starter. So for my starter, I run Duo Lovely Singer, Darling. So she's a common in the set, But for this deck, she's like the best starter. So I'll read to you her effect. Her effect is when you can move her into the soul during the act phase, during the main phase, and you target a card's name and return everything with that name to your hand. So that synergizes super well, you can imagine, with, let's see if I can find it now, with peace. Because imagine what would happen is you'd return 3 peace to your hand, draw 3, and then unflip 3 again. So cheating. It's kind of like free drawing, free 3 cards.
It allows you to cheat legally.
So that's all my cards. Now we can, as Gabe goes on, we can explain some combos.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Oh, and actually, real quick, just to get the triggers out of the way.
Yeah,
I think it's fairly straightforward, but let's just get it out of the way.
So here are the triggers. Everyone likes 4 heals, and of course I mess around with the black and white because I like to do that.
So what do you like better, black or white? That's gonna be the big question.
So that's the thing. A lot of people say black, a lot of people say white, but I personally just rainbow the color because I feel like most of my decks are Bermuda, so I feel very patriotic about how I play my decks.
All right, Mr. Majesty, Lord Blaster, Mr. Or you could just say you can't decide.
Yeah, I really can't decide either because they're all so cute. You can't go wrong either way.
Hey, enjoy all of the artwork. That's why you play this clan.
All right. So finally we have now our draw triggers. I run draw triggers and not stands because with the grade 3 combo you can't really run stand triggers. It'll be like a waste of a stand. Sure, you get +5, but they're already standing.
Yep.
So draw triggers to get hand, even though I have a ton of hand already, but it works.
I think 4's fine.
Yep. And then I run 8 crit triggers. Yeah.
Of different colors.
Of different colors and different types,
so,
yeah.
8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal.
Yep.
Artwork is optional, preference.
Yep, whatever you like. So,
alright guys, so that is the deck there. And of course, before we let you go, not only that, I mean, obviously, we love Hatsune Miku. Yeah, look at her dance. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and just demonstrate a few combos. So let's go ahead and get to that. Alright, here. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys the combo now.
So here's one of the combos. Let's say we have 3 damage. That's all you really need. So
put that in there so we can see, get more vision. There you go. Good.
Combo number 1. Alright, so if you have 3 of these in your hand, of course you want to draw a lot. So you have your starter and your dual piece Elliot. So all you do, super easy, move her into the soul, return all of your Elliots, you target her name, and all of them with that name come to your hand. And then you use her skill. So her skill is when they come back to your hand, you'll counterblast 1 for each and draw. So you'll counterblast 3 and draw 3. And then at the end of that skill, there's a second part to the skill, there's a comma, or a period. It continues and says, you can reveal 3 to your opponent and unflip 1. So that's for each card. So this one will unflip 1, this one will flip 1, and then this one will unflip another.
Free cards for doing nothing.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's one combo. Another would be maybe earlier in the game, when you're at grade 2, like you just rode grade 2, what you could do is you could call a piece Elliot. If you don't have 3 of her in your hand, maybe you have 2 or maybe you have 1. You'll attack the Vanguard, and if it's Vanguard, she can counterblast 1 to return Elliot back to your hand, and then you search for a copy from your deck.
From whose skill? Her?
Her skill.
If it hits.
If it hits.
Strong opening.
Yep. Really good opening for if you need those copies.
You did that to me so many times. I literally thought you were cheating.
Yep. Alright. And then we can show you the grade 3 combo if you want.
Yep.
Yep, alright. So the grade 3.
Miku. The star of the show.
Let's say that's your field so far.
Alright.
So you break ride, you're at 4 damage. You got some rear guards. So what's gonna happen is after you break ride, your Vanguard gets an additional skill. And that skill is you return everything, right? So you want to attack first with all of your rear guards, and then when you attack with your Vanguard, you initiate the break ride skill, which you would counterblast 1, and everything would come back to your hand. And then you continue the second part of the break ride skill, you call 2 from your hand, and then you attack with your Vanguard, you drive check, maybe get some triggers, and then you do Reit skill to stand back up. You counterblast 2, you discard 2 with the same name from your hand, and she stands back up. And then you would attack with your rear guard again, or if you have 2, maybe like this, you can do 2 battles. And then you can attack with your Vanguard again, now getting +3 because she stood back up as part of the effect. And you counterblast again for the break ride skill when she attacks, and everything goes back to your hand. And then you call another 2.
What? I didn't even realize that. This is so cheating. You can't do that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's amazing.
So then you drive check, maybe get more triggers, put him on the rear guard, and then you do your last attack, or last 2 attacks.
I mean, granted, you really have to go in on the counter blast and everything, but I mean, you have ways to kind of unflip with like those lemonade clones, of course, and I mean, how often do you actually get that combo? How good does it feel after you're done?
So here, this combo, the Break Ride and Reit's combo, Mir and Reit, it's actually pretty hard to get off because it's hard to find copies in your hand to actually discard. Sometimes you're using them to guard, and maybe it's a life or death situation. And sometimes you won't even have enough cards to fill up your rear guard. But as long as you turn them back to your hand, you'll have enough guard to maybe guard later. Yeah. So it pretty much saves your life. So and if you get draw triggers, yeah.
So I think it's really up to the player, like the Bermuda player, to kind of think ahead of time with their guarding and making really key decisions to not only effectively guard, so of course you don't lose the game, but also conserve the right quality hands to get off the combo. Not only to get 2 copies in your hand to discard to pay for duo, but also at the same time assembling an ideal field to really get the highest potency with your offense when you're going off. So it's a combo-oriented deck. I mean, there's a lot of decks out there that are very combo-oriented, but I think Bermudas are very, very rewarding when you're really getting that combo off.
Definitely when you get all the combos off, it feels great and it's very rewarding. And so, some problems though may be you're not triggering and you're not getting enough draw in your hand, but the thing about having a lot of hand, you're going to have a lot of hand with this deck if you're especially drawing with the grade 1s. Or maybe you like power from the grade 2. There's another card that gives power instead of hands. I prefer the hand because you need them for all the discarding and stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's pretty hard, but it's also pretty fun. I mean, it's really strong, but it also requires you to think a lot for it.
Yeah, but that's definitely a style of deck that you enjoy.
All right, awesome.
All right, so yeah, there you go, guys. There's Maduro's. Where's other Miku? This is white Miku. This is black Miku.
That's black Miku.
Here's white Miku. Alright guys, so that is the deck. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys enjoy some Miku. Just send you guys out. Yeah, they look the same.
They look the same.
Sorry guys, as always, leave a comment down below with definitely what you guys think. I think this is a really solid build, and like I said, we have like the best Bermuda player in our area here. Really knows the ins and outs of this deck. So as always guys, like I said, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Leave a thumbs up to this video. That's always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, please. Please, because I think I deserve it, somewhat. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, I'm rambling. So yeah, any last shout-outs or last thoughts before we head out?
Well, a lot to my friends there. What let me play the game. So I play the game usually mostly because, not just for the fancy mermaids, but also because my friends play it. It's probably the best part of playing the game is getting to know people and making friends. So
say what's up, guys. You're standing right behind me.
Yo, what's up? Subscribe to TeamSoul.
TeamSoul. I'll leave a comment down below. We'll upload stuff though, please.
If they want.
We'll try to upload a lot. All right. Thank you.
All right, guys, and over and out. Miku.